Turning to this Facebook issue and the behaviour of some soldiers in Afghanistan in the insulting and the offensive comments that they've made on Facebook pages, what is it with the culture that seems to be permeating not just the Navy, it would seem now, but also the Army as well? Well,
first point's an important one. We shouldn't assume that because we see some bad incidents in Navy and some bad incidents in the case of Army, that reflects all of the culture of our defence forces. Let me deal expressly with the appalling Facebook episode. I rang Afghan Defence Minister Wardak last night. I apologised to him on behalf of Australia, and I made the point to him that the Chief of the Defence Force and the Chief of Army was investigating this matter, and in all likelihood disciplinary proceedings would follow. I also made the point to him that I regarded this as very much a very regrettable small minority. He responded as I expected he would, which is to say Australian Defence Force personnel and our diggers in Afghanistan are held in the highest regard and highest esteem, not just for their fighting capability, but because of the way in which they engage with the local community.
But did he go on to say that this might lower them in the way they're held in?
Well, that was the point I made to him. I said, I'm ringing you, Minister, because I don't want this to lower our standing. He said that in his mind, in his own view, it would not, because he appreciated very much and respected very much the way that Australian soldiers conduct themselves, both in terms of sticking to sensible rules of engagement, engaging with the local people, and when things go wrong, fessing up to them and taking remedial action. But this action by a small number of people is appalling. I condemn it absolutely. And everyone should be in no uncertain terms that the Chief of Army, that Army senior officers in Afghanistan and the Chief of the Defence Force will pursue this to the end. And that includes the possibility of disciplinary proceedings. It also includes the possibility of people who are associated or involved with this, if they are in Afghanistan, being returned home.
Disciplinary action is one thing, but there are many people calling for much stronger action than that. These people involved being drummed out of the Army. Is that something on the table?
Well, we have to take this step by step. Firstly, as soon as you start talking about disciplinary procedures, people have rights. So there is a proper process to go through. There is an investigation underway. But in advance of that investigation, it's open to a local commander, if he believes that conduct has occurred, prima facie conduct has occurred, which would warrant action, he can take it on the ground. My own view is that we have on its face conduct of the most appalling kind that brings Army into disrepute and has the potential to bring Australia itself into disrepute. And as the Chief of Army said overnight, and in my discussions with the Chief of the Defence Force overnight and this morning, it doesn't reflect the attitude of Army, it doesn't reflect the sorts of attitudes, approaches and response that we want to see from the modern Australian Army. And I very strongly underline this point. In the main, it absolutely does not. One of the reasons Army is so appalled is that it flies in the face of very good conduct by Army and its personnel in Afghanistan and elsewhere over a long period of time.